Lieutenant Governor and Republican leadership announced it was their priority to remove the red tape and get more people working. The bill's sponsor, Senator Larry Walker, looked for professions that couldn't harm anyone.
A professional working in a retail environment is not required to have a license. If they're working on a film set, they're not required to have a license. But if they're working if they wanted to open their own business and be a makeup artist for the general public, they are required to get a cosmetology license. So that really doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I totally disagree with that. Totally. You know, I've been in the hair industry. I'm not saying I know it all, but I'm what y'all call an old hairstylist, a seasoned stylist. I just retired, but I'm passionate about this industry. I've always been very passionate about the hair industry. I had a storefront salon. I had a team of commission stylists. I'm going to put more information out there about this topic right here because I think it's ridiculous. And he's saying that he's trying to find positions or he's trying to find industries that won't really hurt anybody, you know, because they're trying to get more people working and stuff like that. I mean, I get that, but sometimes people don't want to work. You know, it may be people out here that don't want to work. Of course, it may be people out here who, you know, are having a hard time finding a job. And then also, I mean, why, if he's really trying to help people find jobs, you know, then why isn't he doing that in a lot of different areas, a lot of different professions, and not just this industry? And so the reason that I would say, you know, the whole thing too, when they came out, you know, when a lot of women start going natural, you know, and not using chemicals and stuff, you know, then they start kind of making it to where almost stylists can be, you know, you can be a stylist and not have a license almost. You know, a lot of people start coming out, want to be a hairstylist. And, you know, I'm not bashing anybody who wants to be a hairstylist. You know, I know a lot of people who become hairstylists, you know, they start when they're young with their, you know, doing their family's hair. When they're young girls or young guys, you know, they start off when they're young. So I get all that. I own a storefront salon. I had to hire hairstylists, you know, and to me, you learn a lot about the hair industry when you own a salon and you start hiring hairstylists, because you learn the mentality, the integrity, the professionalism or lack thereof of people, and, you know, whether people can be on time or not. You know, especially the type of salon I had, because it was commission, pretty much meaning that they earned, you know, they made their earnings based on servicing customers. So pretty much, you know, you learn, because then you're booking clients with stylists who may have trouble with attendance, you know, they may have a hard time, you know, or challenge, you know, some people, to be honest, just can't be on time for nothing. So, you know, you as a commission salon owner, you're booking clients with stylists who have a hard time being on time for the clients that you book with them, so they can earn a living, so they can pay their bills and all of that. So you learn a lot about the industry, you know, just owning a storefront salon and hiring hairstylists. You know, any salon owner would tell you that. Whether it's booth rental or commission, whatever it is, you're going to learn just like any type of business owner, whatever kind of business you have, whatever type of industry you're in, you learn a lot about people just by, you know, owning a business. And so you guys, you know, like I just said, you know, a lot of people, they start, you know, you start seeing in the industry where a lot of people were coming into the industry, you know, who didn't have a license and all of that, you know, with this natural hair movement, you know, you start seeing a lot of people kind of coming in. And then they had this kind of unveiled thing where it really wasn't too much of a spoken thing, where, you know, people start working in salons and they didn't have licenses and they was braiding and doing natural hair. And then as a salon owner, especially in Georgia, you know, every state is different. So for Georgia, you know, if you own a salon, if you're a salon owner and you have a storefront salon like what I had, you know, you guys, I'll put pictures too up of my storefront, you know, so you can see how it used to look. But anyway, you guys, when you own a storefront in Georgia, you know, if the State Board of Cosmetology come in and do an inspection, if one of your stylists is not in compliance, they're going to fine the owner. Instead of fining this grown woman or this grown man, they find the salon owner, which makes no sense at all. Because you guys, that's not going to motivate a hairstylist to keep their area clean, to keep their comb, brushes, and stuff sanitized. That's not going to motivate them at all, because they know at the end of the day, if a state board inspector come in and does an inspection, if they got their station dirty, they comb dirty, they barber side jaw dirty, they got dirty towels on their station, all of that, they know they're not going to be fined at all. The owner will be fined. So instead of the stylist getting fined, you guys, they fine the salon owner, which makes no sense at all, because that's going to make people be in this whole mentality where they don't have to be accountable for their actions. So, you know, when it comes to owning a salon, or when it comes to this whole thing of just having people be unlicensed and stuff, the reason why I have pushed back on it, and the reason I don't agree, because when he said he's looking for industries that won't harm anybody, this is an industry that will harm people. It will, yes it will, because at the end of the day, and I'm going to be putting stuff on the screen like y'all know I do. I like y'all to hear me and like y'all to see visuals too, because that helps too. But you guys, like, okay, say for instance a barber. Let's speak about a barber. Okay, a barber, when your husband or your son or your boyfriend or your significant other or whomever, your boo thing, go into a barber shop and get their hair cut with clippers. Okay, those clippers that the barber has, number one, they're not they're not pulling out another box, you know, when they cut, you know, Steve's hair or Joe Blow's hair. When they finish cutting Joe Blow's hair, they're not, when they next customer get in the chair, they're not pulling out a whole brand new box of clippers and using a brand new unused clipper on somebody else. They're not doing that. We're not doing that. We are not doing that. Once they do somebody's haircut, then when the next client sit down in the chair, they using the same clippers. So you guys, what happens when you get a scrape on your arm or on your neck or anywhere on your body? You get a scrape, you get a nick, you get a pinch, or anything like that, you guys. What happens? What happens is blood. You may, if you get scratched, even a little small scratch, you may get blood. Even a little nick or pinch, you may bleed. And then barbers and stylists too, we use clippers. You know, we use razors. You know, barbers, they use razors. You know, stylists use razors. You know, sometimes people, when they arching your brows, they using a razor. You guys all know that this is common sense, that anytime any of those scenarios happen, there's going to be some blood. It may be little bit of specks of blood, microscopic specks of blood, but it's going to be some blood. It's going to be some DNA. For me, I'm blood type O positive. It's going to be some of that, right? Even you guys, if you go and get your brows threaded, okay, when they thread, they use a piece of thread. That's why it's called threading. But when they thread, it's actually pulling in your brows, the hair from the roots. It's pulling it from the roots. So there's microscopic blood particles, okay? Again, with your brows, when you go somewhere, a spa, or you go in a nail shop, or wherever you may get your brows waxed at, if you get them waxed, okay, when they put that strip on, when they take that little stick and they dip it in the wax, and they put that wax on your brow, when they pull that strip off, it's pulling your hair out from the roots. It's also microscopic blood particles. It's blood coming out of your brow because your hair is being pulled from the roots. That's why the stick that they just spread the wax on your brow, they don't supposed to double dip or use that same stick to dip again, and they know that. Because why? Because blood. Because if they use that same stick Then blood is going to get in the wax. And then when the next client come in for their brow wax, then what? Blood. So you guys, that's just a couple of examples, and I have more. I can put some on the screen too. So for him to say he's picking professions that won't cause harm, I totally beg to differ. I totally disagree. Even with tattoos, like when you get a tattoo, I don't have any tattoos on me. My husband don't have any tattoos. But when you get tattoos, it's a known fact that when they doing the tattoo on your arm or wherever you decide to get your tattoo, guess what? Microscopic blood. You may can see the blood. I don't know because I've never had a tattoo. But blood. That's why there has been people who have gotten, hepatitis and other stuff I'm going to put on the screen just from getting tattoos. Hepatitis C, and it's called a blood-borne pathogen. Okay, so that's another thing. That's another service, tattooing. And tattooing, it does not fall under the Board of Cosmetology. It actually falls under the State Board of Health, because you can actually injure somebody, you can prick a vein, anything can happen. So that is actually under the State Board of Health, because you're actually drawing blood. You're drawing blood when you're actually doing a tattoo. When anybody who has gotten a tattoo, you know the deal. And I heard that it hurts. It's a tattoo is something I don't want. A tattoo is something I've never wanted or will never get. To each his own. But I'm trying to tell you right now, the focus is right now with this video is him saying that he's picking professions where you can't do any harm. You guys, I just named some stuff that you can get harmed by. Even hairstylists. I remember times when you may be cutting somebody's hair, and you so focused on cutting their hair, you may end up cutting your own finger when you're cutting hair, or razoring, and then what? Blood. So this industry, for him to say it's an industry that won't cause any harm, I totally disagree. Totally disagree. And I think that lay people should be cognizant of this, should be aware of this, because I think lay people don't really know. Even with combs and brushes and towels and capes and all of this stuff that hairstylists that we use, that barbers use, even nail techs that they use, people doing lashes, they right in your eye with a tool, and you don't know if the tool is sanitized or not. And I'm not blaming the service industry. I'm just begging to differ with what he said, because at the same time, he don't know. But at the same time, you guys, did they have the wherewithal to, if they decided that they're gonna create this bill in Georgia, Senate Bill 354, did they ever take 1 second to think, okay, let me do some more research on this industry before I decide to just be all willy-nilly and just put it out here, because we're trying to get more people working. Because people who want to do hair, you guys, they already doing hair. They've been finding over 11 years, they've been finding a way to do hair. They doing Ray hair and everybody else hair. So here, we don't need no help from the Senate for that. People who trying to be doing hair, they doing hair. They don't know that? They've been doing hair. People who want to do hair are doing hair. It's already a lot of unlicensed people who are already doing hair in the hair industry already. So now they're trying to make it where, cosmetologists, barbers, nail techs, all these people who can spread germs and stuff if they don't know how to properly sanitize. Because you guys, when we use all of that stuff I just named, combs, brushes, shears, razors, waxing, towels, capes, we are reusing the same thing. And the only way you're gonna know what all kind of scalp conditions people have is if you're a hairstylist. if you are a hairstylist, you see all kind of scalp conditions in people's head. And I'm not trying to talk about people's head. My focus is they just out here all willy-nilly. Didn't even have the wherewithal or the first thought of mind to say, let's get together some people in the industry. Let's find out who are licensed professionals who've been licensed for 10 years or more, and let's pull them. Let's email them a survey, or let's get them together and ask them. Let's get like a committee just to show respect for the industry. And just to try to gain information and just gain input. But for you to just, who ain't even in the industry, probably ain't even got a family member in the industry, for you to just come out here and say, oh, y'all don't need a license. And then it's all kind of ways, you guys. It's a lot of ways that people can spread germs, viruses, hepatitis C, and a lot of different diseases and viruses and stuff on to some other customer when you are in the hair industry, when you do nails. On my other video, which I'm going to put down below in the description box about this whole situation here, this conundrum. Even with my nails, I mean, you can get infections with just getting your nails done. Just getting your nails done, because the files, there's some nail salons that will, every time, you come in, they use a brand new file. It's a couple of nail shops I used to go to where they would not use the same file. They would get a new one. You'll have your own little pack or whatever, and they'll open it up right in front of you. But a lot of them, they use the same emery board, that they just used on somebody else. And that's filing too. It's scraping. Sometimes they scrape the side of your finger. That's microscopic blood too. So you guys, in this industry called the service industry, there are all kind of ways that blood-borne pathogens, and I'm going to put up on the screen what a blood-borne pathogen is. There's all kind of ways that people can spread it. Now, if people don't have to have no license, and people don't have to go to school, then how they going to learn about this stuff? Yeah, everybody think they can learn by what? YouTube? And I'm on YouTube right here, and you learn it right here. But if there is a profession that people can work in where they can spread diseases and viruses and bacteria, they need to have a license. They need to have a license. Now, you guys, if a lawyer and attorney has to have a license, and they're out here just talking to people, they just going to court, not knocking what they do because they make a lot of money, much respect to them, all this education they have to have and stuff like that. But if they have to have a license and they can't pass a blood-borne pathogen to anyone, they can't cause a scrape or a nick on anyone, they can't cause some blood to be drawn from anybody, but they have to have a license. People who are in this industry, waxing brows, pulling the brow strip off, drawing blood, doing tattoos, drawing blood, cutting your hair and may cut their own finger or may nick you, drawing blood, doing clipper cuts on you, and you end up with all these hair bumps on your neck, drawing blood, using a razor, may cut themselves or cut your neck, drawing blood. All of this stuff, you guys, you don't know what people have. Only people that know what somebody got is their doctor. When somebody sit in a hairstylist or a barber or nail tech, or you get your brows waxed or threaded or what, nobody know what you have. Nobody know what I got. I ain't got nothing, by the way, but still, nobody know. If I go sit in somebody's chair and let them do my hair, they don't know. They think I'm a healthy woman, which I am. So you guys, for him to say that he's choosing an industry that won't do any harm, that's totally false. I mean, you couldn't have picked a worse industry to say you're not going to harm nobody. And then when he said about how you know, you can do makeup on a movie set, or you can do this on a movie set and you don't have to have a license. But if you own a salon or something, you do have to have a license. Where from working on a movie set to owning a business, that's a whole other level of responsibility. And in my opinion, if you owning a salon, you need to have a license. Like, what's the problem with that? Because when I had my salon, Sugar Salon, my storefront, there were all kind of people walking in there, all walks of life. There was people coming from the north, south, east, and west. We was running TV commercials. We had a lot of clients come through there. I, as the owner, was responsible for making sure that my hairstylists, they were keeping stuff sanitized, that they was keeping their area clean. Because at the end of the day, if the state board come in there in Georgia, they finding who? Me. They not finding the stylist who got their area dirty. They finding the owner in Georgia. Make no sense at all. So, to me, when you own, you should be set to a higher standard. When you own, there should be a higher standard set. So you guys, I can't say this is going to continue. This saga is going to continue because now they have a petition out there. I'm going to drop the petition in the description box. It's on change.org. Somebody started a petition. I'm going to drop it down below in case you want to sign it. But you guys, I mean, lay people, you guys may not know, but trust me, I know. There is all kinds of ways that viruses, bacteria, all kind of stuff can be spread from one client to the other because we're reusing combs, brushes, towels, capes, and all of that. And I'm not trying to bash the hair industry. I'm actually defending the hair industry. I'm just telling you ways that you can. So if they have people out here who ain't got no license and they just trying to let them be doing everything. And one thing too, you guys, when we have a license, when these professions have licenses, when a barber, a nail tech, a makeup artist, a hairstylist, you know, massage therapist, when we have licenses, what that does, you guys, it makes us be accountable. It makes us be accountable. Why? Because we're under another entity. It's somebody that's over us that we're under, and we have to comply to. Like, compliance is everything. If you just all out here all willy-nilly and just doing whatever you want to, ain't got no rules, no regulations, no guidelines, no nothing, people gonna have all kind of stuff gonna be spread. It's gonna be crazy, and something may be spread to you and you may not even know where it came from. You ain't gonna never think, okay, it's because I went and got my nails did, or I went and got my braids, or I went and got this and that, or somebody shampooed me and they was scratching my dandruff and blood. You know, you're not gonna be thinking about any of this. So this industry need to be held to a higher standard, in my opinion. Because when you have a license, what happens is the State Board of Cosmetology, they will know your name, your social security number, your date of birth, your criminal history if you have any. And another thing, you guys, they hold us so accountable that whenever you go to renew your license, you can't have nothing criminally happen to you, or they will not renew your license. Like, you can't be in no criminal, you can't even owe back child support or nothing. They won't renew your license. That's another way they hold people accountable. So, you know, one thing about the hair industry too, and I'm not trying to bash anybody, but sometimes people come in under the radar because they know in this industry there's not going to be no criminal background check done. So it's an easy industry to come in if you're trying to be under the radar. Because if you go to work at Walmart, or you go in corporate or retail or whatever, they doing criminal background employment checks. And a lot of people wouldn't even be able to work in Walmart who are working in the hair industry. Now, I'm not trying to badmouth nobody. I just feel like lay people need to know this because y'all don't know. And so what happens when you have a license, it holds you accountable because when you're licensed, they know your name, your date of birth, your address, your social security number, you know, if you do anything criminal, they'll know, and they can take your license for that. If you ain't paying your child support, they can take your license for that. It makes us accountable. So that's number one. Number two, when they do an inspection, when the State Board of Cosmetology do an inspection, they will know where your salon is, or they'll know where you work. Because guess what? All of that is on file. So they come in and they do their inspections. That's how they know where to go. But if you don't have a license, they don't know nothing about, they don't even know you do hair. How they gonna know you do hair if you ain't got no license? When you get a license, you have to provide all of this information. So when they come and they do these random surprise pop-up inspections, which they should do, that's what makes you be accountable as a licensed professional. Even with, you know, doctors, nurses, lawyers, and anybody else who is in a licensed profession, we are held to a higher standard because we're out here serving the public. It's different, you guys, if you're at home doing hair just for family members. But when you work in a place of business, or even if you're doing hair in your home and you servicing customers, you need to be held to a higher standard. I don't care where you're doing hair at. If you servicing customers and you getting paid for it, in my opinion, you need to have a license because you need to be held accountable. And you guys, we all know when we're not held accountable for stuff, sometimes people just do whatever. And if you have a business and you're earning money from being in the service industry, in my opinion, you need a license. Okay, I'm not going to try to let this video go too long because it can go on and on. But the more new updates I get on this, you guys, I'm going to throw it on my YouTube channel. Again, it's a petition. It's in the description box below. Click on it, sign it if you think that people should have a license. If you think that people should be required to have a license, sign the petition. I'm going to put it in my first video too that I did about this. I'm going to link that down below too. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please drop your comments, your questions, whatever you may have. Drop them down below. You guys know what to do. Drop them in the comments. Comment, like, subscribe, click the bell. And please share this video, you guys, because I'm trying to educate you guys on this. This is a serious thing. This is in Georgia. I don't know if other states are doing it. I don't know if you know of another state that's doing it. Please drop it in the comments and put the state that's doing it, because I'm going to do more research on this, another video. I'm going to keep the videos coming on this topic. But if you agree with me and think people should be licensed, sign the petition. I'm going to see you guys on my next video. Thanks for watching. Be blessed. Peace and blessings.